What's up, fam? It's your boy Kirk, and I challenge everyday people to think holistically about their relationship to technology at home for their families and at work for career success. I'm starting a new video series here on the channel, How It All Works. We're going to be talking about how I do my live streams and all the different components that go into it. The lower thirds, the custom backgrounds that I use in StreamYard, all of those things we're going to go through not only in StreamYard, we're going to go into the different platforms that I use to do them. Going into Canva, going into Loopback for my virtual microphone, going into ECamm, and that's what this video is about, for my virtual camera. What camera do I use to go into StreamYard for my streaming? It is ECamm. And I'm going to show you all the reasons why I do that and how I do that in this video. So buckle up. Let's figure out how it all works. So I'm on the ECamm website right now, and this is where you would go to be able to grab the software. It is a Mac only software. Sorry for all my Windows people out there. ECamm has not even made any indication that they plan on having this platform be available for Windows users as well. So if you know, I'm sorry that I didn't mention that earlier, but I wanted to mention it right here toward the beginning of our tutorial. But ECamm is what I use as my camera, not only for StreamYard for my streaming, but for everything that I do. So if I go into a Zoom meeting, whatever I'm at, my webcam is ECamm, and I'll show you why that is because of some of the functions and features that are built into the platform. So you go here, or you can click the link in the description, which, full disclosure, is an affiliate link. So me and my team here at How It All Works, we get a little piece. But click that link, grab the free trial to be able to try out the software, and then we'll go from there in terms of getting it installed on your computer. Once you get it installed, then you'll see the next scene. And let's jump into that right now. Once you get ECamm installed on your computer, I mean, the steps are pretty self-explanatory. Sorry I could not show that to you. I already have it installed on my computer. But they have some really good instruction steps if you find yourself in a problem. But it's fairly self-explanatory, especially for Mac users. You just install the program. So now that I've got it installed, this is what it looks like. Now on my screen, you're seeing a little more than than what you normally see, right? You're seeing ECamm, which includes a video of me, and the video of me is being pulled from my capture card, which is connected to the Sony a7 II, which is my primary camera that I use for recording. But there's really not a whole lot that needs to be done. Some of you are thinking, well, how did you set up that part? I didn't. I have my capture card connected to the computer. My phone, my camera is on, and so ECamm picks it up. So if I go up here to camera, you'll see that there are two cameras here. Why is that? Because I have a webcam as well. Well, let's see what the webcam looks like. There it is. And so now I'm on the webcam, and so the webcam looks like this, and you also see why I don't use the webcam. And then so you can switch back and forth between them here. But you can also switch between them on screen here. So if I click between the two camera sources that are available to ECamm, I can see them here. If I also want to do a picture-in-picture, what I want you to understand is that what you're seeing in this little box on screen is what is output to other applications as the camera feed. So whatever is in this box is what will be seen by other applications when it uses ECamm as its virtual cam. So if I wanted to let's say I had my webcam focused on something on my desk, I don't. But let's say I did, and I wanted to bring that in as well. There's a plus sign here right next to the video feed. So I click that. Now you're seeing two of me, one from the webcam, one from the Sony. And so that can be useful as well, especially if you are wanting to bring in two different guests, two different subjects. Let's say you're doing a podcast, you got one camera focused on you, you got the other cameras focused on somebody else. You're in the same room, but you're quote unquote distanced. So you can have that as a split screen, but you can also give the primary person priority by clicking this box here and allowing for that other video feed to be smaller. And if you put your mouse on the smaller video feed, you can click the little circle arrow to swap between the two. Let's say somebody's talking about something and you want them to be bigger, and then you want to be able to swap back to the other person, and you want that person to be bigger. And if you want to get rid of that thing, you can either click the minus sign or you can click the X here. I usually click the minus sign, and that brings me back to just the one camera. Now, this is all what's happening in ECamm, and you're wondering to yourself, well, how in the world do you get that out to the other applications? If you click on your outputs here in your top menu for ECamm, you have one that's called Virtual Cam. This is only available for Pro subscribers, which you will get in the free trial. You have access to everything. So Pro subscribers do have the Virtual Cam as an output option. So you go through here again, you would install Virtual Cam, really quick and easy process. What I have found, this is a tip for everybody, after you've installed your Virtual Cam, right? I would restart the machine. When you bring your machine back up, bring up ECamm first, and then bring up Chrome or any other application that will look for a webcam, because you want to make sure you bring up ECamm, come back in here, turn your Virtual Cam on, and then you're gonna, when on your screen, this little window where you're seeing your video feed, you'll see this icon, this little red video camera thing that says cam underneath it. That means your Virtual Cam is on and it is visible to the rest of the system. Then you bring up Chrome and other applications that might be looking for the webcam, and you will see that it is in the list now. So that is the option and the feature that is in ECamm that enables me to use this as my camera going into StreamYard for my streams. Again, we're setting this up to talk to you about how I do my streams. My primary webcam is ECamm, and I have access to all of my stuff in ECamm, so I can be able to set that up. I want to show you one or two more things before I show you how it looks in StreamYard. When you come in here, you have your overlays icon here on the screen. You have your sound icon here on the screen. You have your camera icon here on the screen, and you can do some really cool color correct and all kinds of stuff. And you can upload your LUT for your camera in here. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can turn on the thing and you can zoom in, and I mean it's fairly robust in terms of what you can do with your camera, even a webcam in ECamm. So that's another reason why I use it. So that's there. And then you have sound effects. Sound effects are things like applause and stuff like that. So I don't use that much, except for a different purpose. But just to be clear, your audio from ECamm is not going to make its way into your other applications unless you have something else set up, which I do. And as we go through this series of how I do my live streams, I'm going to show you that in one of those other videos. So I have all of these set up here. This one is for comments. If you were streaming with ECamm, you could use this as your comments. And then if you come up here to where it says scene, you can click this scene icon and click show scenes window. That is critical. I don't know why it's not on screen. I don't know why ECamm did that, but that shows you this screen here. And this screen is very important. Most of you will not have anything created here. If you just installed ECamm, you won't have any of these items. So you will just have new scene. And I'm going to call this scene 1. And as you can see on there, it's just my camera feed. Everything that you set up in a scene is remembered when you go back to it, which is perfect. So one of the things that I want to do is, okay, regardless of whether I'm the one streaming or I'm a part of somebody else's stream, or if I'm part of somebody else's meeting, I want my signature, I want my lower third on the screen. So I have created that in Canva. Again, this will be in another video. How do you create that in Canva? I've created that in Canva, and I've downloaded it to my machine, and it's this file name right here. So I'm going to pull that in, drop it on the screen like that. And of course you can see it, but it's not really the right size, right? So I'm going to put it up here to push it to the top, grab this corner. That bottom right corner is the corners you want to grab when you're adjusting overlays. This is an overlay. Just like in StreamYard, this is an overlay. So I grab that, and now you can see my signatures here in the top corner. My name and my website are down here. Gives me a nice clean look. And again, this is how everything that you see in the screen window is what will be outputted to other applications when you're using ECamm as your webcam. All right, so that's what's in there. Give you another example. I'm going to create a new scene. Just click this plus sign here at the bottom, and I'm going to call this scene 2. Right, and in scene 2, I'm going to actually select my desktop. I don't want this version of the desktop, so I'm going to click this again and go to secondary. And this is my secondary screen where I showed you I was on ECamm before, and I don't want my video over in this corner. I want it over in this corner, so I'm going to push it over here, and basically my scene is done. And so what I'm going to do here on the bottom is I'm going to drag these two up above the other folders because I want to simulate what you guys will see when you're setting up your scenes for the first time. Folders are really good to be able to have all of your scenes set up in the way that you want them and to be able to toggle through them. But if you notice now that these two scenes are at the top, I have a command 1 and command 2 next to each scene. So that is a keystroke that I can do to be able to toggle between the scenes very seamlessly without having to click, without having to move my mouse, and without having to look anywhere else other than the camera. So again, very useful. Here's another thing that I want to do. In my desktop scene, I don't have my signature and I don't have my lower third. So how can I do that? I can come back over here to clicking on the scene is clicking on the actual play button of the scene is what makes it active. I can come back over to scene 1. I can take my HIW, basically my overlay, push it up here to be visible in all scenes. And when I come back over here to this one, guess what? It's now visible. You can see it on the screen now. Those are going to be saved per scene. Everything that you set up in a scene is going to be saved by the scene in that way. So sometimes you may not want that and you say, I don't really want this in this scene. So you might want to go back, pull it down here, and have it be just available to the current scene. Show in current scene or show in all scenes. That's what I was doing there. So when you come back to this one, it's not here. And if I want it in here, I can just drag it in again for this scene. And I might create a different one because, you know, I want it to look differently on this screen. The third scene that I want to create, call it scene 3, is to show a video. So I'm going to click on this middle icon here. That's share screen. Sorry, that was what I used to show my desktop. I'm going to click on this third icon, which is the video file, and I'm going to just choose a file. I'm going to choose this aftersermon.mov, and here you're seeing some of the praise and worship team from my church. All right, so I'm going to pause that. But now this scene is also set. Think about this, folks, because this is what would be exported to other applications. This video would be exported to other applications as my virtual cam. So I can pull up a video, still have myself in the video picture in picture, and have that be viewable to someone else. And again, now that's just created another thing for me to toggle through. So that's scene 3. So I can go to 1, I can go straight to 3, I can come back over to 2, I can go back to 1, back to 3, back to 2, back to 1. You understand the power of this and the workflow, how easy it makes your workflow as you work through some of these items. So that's pretty cool. Now I want to show you how it looks when we go into StreamYard, but I want to just show you very briefly what it looks like in Zoom as well. And because I want to make sure that you understand the options that are available for us to be able to attend a meeting in Zoom as well. So here I'm going to say join computer audio. I'm going to mute my mic, and here I'm going to go into video settings. Everything's coming up on other monitor. So here on video settings, you have USB camera, and that's what it's set to right now, USB camera. You also have a USB camera, by the way, is my capture card, which is connected to the Sony. Next, you have the HD Pro webcam, which is my Logitech C920. Then you also have ECamm Live Virtual Cam. And that, as you can see, is my Sony connected into ECamm, which also has my lower third and the signature. You thought I was just putting it on there to be funny, huh? I wanted you to see the difference between the two. And so here, again, you're seeing the whole screen. I'm going to, so I can close this setting screen down. I'm in this Zoom meeting. I'm going to change to a different scene. And you see that it changes. I'm going to change to another scene. You see that it changes there too. I did a presentation for a summit, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Transition requires identification. There it is. Online tools, all of that stuff in Zoom for you to be able to work with. And so, yeah, let's now that we've seen that, let's run over to StreamYard. And so I'm going to go into this test room. I have another machine already in there. I want you to see what this looks like. Okay, so here I'm going to click on Cam Mic, and you'll see the USB camera is the capture card. So capture card being my Sony camera, and it's basically the same view as ECamm, except that ECamm has the lower third and the signature in the top right. So let's just click the USB camera, and you see that it's the same exact video that you were seeing from the capture card from the Sony. It's just that it doesn't have the lower third. It doesn't have the overlay that we put in scene 1 in ECamm. So I'm gonna change to the HD Pro webcam, and of course you can see this is me here on the HD Pro webcam. Doesn't have any of the features that we did from ECamm. So in this list now you have ECamm Live Virtual Camera, and again, cannot stress, you do need to install it, turn it on in ECamm, and then open up your other applications that may want a webcam. So here I'm selecting it, and as you can see, the lower third is there already. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, mute that mic over there for StreamYard so that you guys can still hear me, and enter the studio. I already have a different machine in, as I mentioned before, and so you're seeing on screen that the avatar from the other video that I'm using. Don't worry about that. I'm showing you this because I want you to see that in StreamYard, ECamm has picked me up. It's got all my stuff that we set in scene 1, and it's now being picked up in StreamYard as a virtual camera. All right. So if I go to scene 2, which is my desktop, a different desktop. So I'm gonna go to scene 2. Just by doing that same keystroke, you'll see now I'm in the bottom corner as a picture-in-picture, and you're seeing my desktop in StreamYard as a webcam because we're using ECamm as a virtual camera. Okay. If we go to scene 3, which is that video, you'll see here again is that webcam, right? And we're seeing that video file is playing. I'm gonna go back to scene 1 so that we don't have the interference of that video playing. But you're seeing the power of ECamm and into StreamYard. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pull up some of the stuff that I had done for one of the conferences, or actually here's a presentation that I did for my wife's networking group. And so this is what I had done. I set up these scenes, and I'll show you these scenes after we come out of StreamYard. But here's the first scene, and it's just the Sony camera with nothing on it. Here's the second scene. The second scene is not working. Here's the third scene. It's got the lower third. Yourcomposition.com. I was speaking on behalf of my wife. That's my wife's business. Here's a third, another scene, which was the title for the presentation: web maintenance and security. We all needed. I created this in Canva, dropped it into ECamm as a scene, and then placed my video on top of the slide as a picture-in-picture. I can size this video however I want. If you're watching it in StreamYard right now, I'm going to just grab this thing, move it. You see that I'm moving it live on screen. This is not static stuff, folks. I can resize it, I can shift it around live while people are watching. Now, I've got it set in a scene and it is saved, so it's not something that I need to mess with. And that's the reason why I designed the thing in Canva the way that I did, because I wanted a small space right in between my signature and the website for my video feed. You see, that's the power of what you can do, and that's why I wanted to do this video series in terms of how I do my live streams. And so I'm just gonna click through some of the other scenes here. Web maintenance, why is it important? Some of the statistics. I was doing a web thing, some of the costs. Here's the closer, and then here's a question slide. And so this slide I've used multiple times for multiple purposes. But as you can see, all of this is in StreamYard, coming from ECamm as a virtual camera, and that is the power of the thing. And that's why I wanted to create this video. I wanted to show you guys right here at the outset, what am I using for my camera? I'm actually using ECamm as my camera going into all these different platforms, because it gives me a level of control over the experience that the user, the viewer, has when they're interacting with me on these platforms. We're back in ECamm now, and you're seeing that this is exactly where we left off in StreamYard. I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to actually click back to the first scene that we created in ECamm, and so that's with the lower third. Oh, it's on this side. Lower third, and then the signature up in the corner here. And so that's essentially it. That's what I'm trying to do with this series, is to show you what I use for my live streaming, right? So this is what I use for my camera. My camera is ECamm, and yes, I have a Sony a7 II. I also have a Logitech C920. I also have a Canon 60D, and any one of those cameras are going to be connected into ECamm, and that's what I'll use to stream my content. And I wanted you to see that. And the next thing, as I mentioned already a second ago, is the virtual microphone. I hope that you're getting value from these videos. Here at How It All Works, we're on a mission to get 1,000 subscribers. That's our first goal, and we're so thankful that you're responding and you are liking our videos, you are watching them, you are commenting, you are sending us feedback. But I'm hoping that this is another one that is going to add value to what you're doing, and it shows you yet another way that you can use these tools, these platforms in concert with one another to be able to get your live streams done and do them in a way that is meaningful. The ability to be able to go into Zoom or any of these other web platforms, web conferencing things with a virtual camera like ECamm is a game changer. So I highly recommend it, and I'm hoping that you'll stick with us for the next video, which will come out next Friday, and that one is going to cover the virtual microphone. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping we got you a little closer to figuring out how it all works. We'll see you in the next video.